Happy Sunday morning, February 14, 2021. I'm Riley King, and welcome to Politics with Riley King. Let's begin this Sunday morning edition and this Sunday week's edition of Politics with Riley King. We have a lot of political news to get to this Sunday, so let's get started. First up, Sununu says state working to make COVID-19 vaccination process easier. Governor says virus could be around for some time. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
We're celebrating President's Day all month long at Fettley Chevrolet. Buy a new 2020 Chevy Equinox all-wheel drive SUV. Get monumental savings all month long at Fettley Chevrolet, the neighborhood dealer who treats you like family.
New Hampshire's COVID-19 vaccine phase 1 is still... New Hampshire's COVID-19 vaccine phase 1 is still smoothing out some of the bumps in a rough patch due to a scheduling system that has too often come up short under the strain of demand. In an interview for Close Up, Governor Chris Sununu says the problems are being dealt with.
We've made this process much easier. Folks don't have to schedule their second dose anymore. We're going to take care of that for them. Folks that were scheduled out in April and May, we're moving them up with our new partnership in Walgreens. And as we get more vaccine, we're calling folks, moving them further ahead in line.
Other issues remain unresolved. A standoff continues with teachers asking to move up in the line for the vaccine to facilitate the reopening of schools. And even when things do go well with that first shot, some people are no-shows for the second.
How much of a problem are you seeing with unused second doses, people who don't show up for that second appointment? And what happens to those second doses if they don't show up?
So there is a slight percentage, it's 3 or 4 or 5%, that people that aren't showing up for their second dose appointments, that what we do is we hold it and we get on the phone and we call them and we say, hey Jim, why didn't you show up for your second dose appointment? But we will hold it for a few more weeks to be sure.
One grim possibility to consider, this nearly year-long fight against COVID-19 may still be in its early stages.
There's epidemic, there's pandemic, and then there's endemic, which means it's here for the long haul. What have you been told by epidemiologists about the chances that COVID-19 could become endemic for us here in New Hampshire?
Oh, I think there's a strong chance. Look, we still have H1N1, right? You know, we still have versions of things that had been kind of smaller pandemics and smaller issues, years ago. But we still have them. We deal with them a little better. We can manage through it, regardless of what the epidemiologists say. And I think most of them would agree. We will likely have this for some time.
You can watch the full interview with the governor Sunday morning on Close Up. Adam Sexton, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. House Democrat leaders say legal action possible unless Speaker allows remote options for session. COVID-19 concerns voiced in letter by Cushing sent before announcement of in-person February 24th to the 25th meetings at Bedford Sports Complex. New Hampshire House Democrat leader Rennie Cushing raised the possibility of legal actions against the Republican House Speaker in a letter obtained by WMUR outlining the concerns of his minority caucus about the Speaker's plans to hold in-person legislative session meetings February 24th and the 25th. Cushing asks Speaker Sherman Packard for remote option for members who are especially vulnerable to being infected with COVID-19, stressing that lawmakers, including him, will face a life or death choice when deciding whether to attend. Packard told WMUR he and his team have been working to find an option to allow for remote sessions, but he said such an option would need to be made available to all 400 members, which he said is so far proving impossible. But Packard said his team is continuing to work to find a system that works. Responding to Cushing in his letter, Packard asked for continued good faith dialogue without a constant threat of litigation. Cushing, meanwhile, said in an interview that he is not threatening legal actions, but is trying to avoid legal action. This is not personal or political, he said. It's about public health. Cushing said he believes a hybrid system could be found that would allow the in-person meetings be held while giving people with disabilities or heightened vulnerability to COVID-19 a remote option for participation. He said it is not necessary to set up a system to allow all 400 members to participate remotely. He said he is confident that many members, including many Democrats, will attend in person. We've never asked for a completely remote session, Cushing said. We're willing to present the speaker with the names of those members who are vulnerable and which ones would be willing to participate safely in person. Packard announced in the latest House calendar posted Thursday evening that the House will meet February 24th and the 25th at New Hampshire Sportsplex in Bedford. Packard wrote, at over 50,000 square feet of floor space, we will have more than double the usable area of the Whittemore Center Arena, where the House held sessions last June, organized by what was the time a Democrat speaker and majority to spread out and socially distance. We are working with the Department of Health and Human Services and State Fire Marshal and Bedford Fire and Police and the State Police to ensure a risk mitigation and secure environment for all members and staff in attendance. Packard wrote that he and his team are continuing to research if reasonable remote solutions exist and that will not compromise the operation of 400 member House representatives. But Packard added, a solution that would meet our unique needs has not been identified. Earlier this week, before Packard announcement, the location, Cushing wrote himself a lengthy letter. We can tell you last Friday Packard responded to that letter. Cushing, in his letter, raised the possibility of legal actions, writing, we hope to continue our dialogue to achieve an amicable resolution to this matter. Packard responded to Cushing and wrote, I believe it is impractical to permit remote participation to all members who request it. States who have successfully done so have memberships of less than half of ours, and most have provided state-issued equipment to those members to facilitate it. Deployment and equipment testing and training of members, technical support, protocols, and back-end software development would all be tremendously time-consuming and costly. New Hampshire House Leader Renee Cushing, but Packard wrote remote participation may be possible in the future session for members with specific health issues. Democrat legislative leaders respond to Sununu's budget presentation. Devil is in details. House Senate Minority Caucus leaders promise to guard against swifting of the cost to local property taxpayers as they review the governor's $13.8 billion plan. Democrat legislative leaders Friday responded to Governor Chris Sununu's budget presentation by promising to protect against the downswifting of the cost to local property taxpayers. Top Democrats in the State House and Senate Minority Caucus questioned the impact of the governor's proposal to cut the rate of meals and rooms tax and to phase out interest and dividends tax. Sununu proposes tax cuts, university system recognition, and budget address. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Adam Sexton.
We're celebrating President's Day all month long at Bentley Chevrolet. Buy a new 2020 Chevy Equinox all-wheel drive SUV. Get monumental savings all month long at Bentley Chevrolet, the neighborhood dealer who treats you like family.
It isn't the doomsday budget many feared in the early months of the pandemic. COVID-19 has left only a $50 million hole in state coffers, a serious but not insurmountable hurdle facing New Hampshire's next two-year spending plan. This afternoon, Governor Chris Sununu highlighted some of his funding priorities, including a merger of the university and community college systems.
Why shouldn't a student at Nashua Community College also be able to do a research and development project at the University of New Hampshire? Or why shouldn't a Plymouth State student be able to take summer nursing classes at Manchester Community College?
As News 9 first reported, the governor wants tax cuts from a 5-year phase-out of the interest and dividends tax to a rollback of the business enterprise tax.
Tens of thousands of small businesses with an enterprise value under $250,000, they no longer have to pay this tax at all.
While that particular change has some bipartisan support, Democrats are asking about the overall price tag. They believe the direct aid the governor is proposing to send to cities and towns won't cover the costs they expect this budget to downshift to the local level.
It's not going to be enough.
The governor's budget also maintains proposed 3.1% Medicaid provider rate increases. It brings back his voluntary paid family and medical leave program, creates a new state-level Department of Energy, and promises to spend more education dollars for every student.
My budget ensures that we spend more money per child on public education than ever before.
Schools remain a serious point of contention, with Democrats arguing the governor should be doing more to ensure they reopen.
It's one thing to say you're going to give communities flexibility, but then you don't give them tools such as vaccines for teachers that will help students get back into schools.
Adam Sexton, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. New Hampshire Senate votes along party lines to kill Independent Redistricting Advisory Commission. Late Thursday morning update. The state Senate today voted 14-10 along party lines to kill a bill that would establish an Independent Redistricting Advisory Commission. All Republicans voted the bill inexpendable to legislative, while all Democrats voted to keep the bill alive and pass it. A similar bill is pending in the House. New Hampshire Senate passes Right to Work Bill 13-11 in near party line vote. Late Thursday morning update. Anticipated the New Hampshire Senate again passed legislation known as the Right to Work Thursday morning, prohibiting a requirement that employees of a private sector business join a labor union. The vote, as expected, 13-11, with Republican Senator Sharon Carson joining all 10 Senate Democrats in opposition, and other 13 Republicans voting in favor. Similar bills have passed the Senate with roll call tally in past years. And that does it for this Sunday edition of Politics with Riley King. Thank you for joining us for this Sunday edition of Politics with Riley King. Have a great rest of your Sunday, everyone. I'll see you back here next Sunday for another edition of Politics with Riley King. And have a great week as well, everybody. Goodbye.